Alrighty, let's get started then. Oh, transition failed again, of course it did. Anyway, feel free to introduce yourself.
Hello, I am Nonpon. I am a delivery VTuber, sibling of Echo here, of Patalia. I stream a lot of Fantasy Star, and I feel like that's all I actually stream. I've been streaming some other new games too, though. It's like all I stream, I feel like.
Yeah. Fair enough. I will say, let's see. I think it was about this time last year was the last time I interviewed someone that was in the Phantasy Star content creation scene, and I was just like,
Oh, no way.
Yeah. It was about this time last year, I believe, that I did as a Lyra, I believe it was, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but Phantasy Star. I am going to ask right away, why Phantasy Star? Because the game has had maybe an 8 or 9 year long history at this point.
Why Fantasy Star? Well, it's actually a game I played a bit when I was in college. My friend was playing on the Japanese server, and he was like, Nonpon, there's this really cool game called Fantasy Star Online 2, you gotta try it. So I played it on his computer, and he's like, yeah, you like it? I'm like, yeah, I really like this game. He's like, do you want to, I can show you how to play it on the JP server. And I said, no, that's okay, dude. I'll wait for it to come out in English.
Oh, God.
So 8 years later, the game comes out in English, finally. And I just like, oh, I can finally play this game. And it was also during like the COVID area too. So I feel like, well, there's a game I really wanted to play. I got nothing better to do but to stream video games now. And I kind of just put 2 and 2 together, and I really enjoyed the game.
Okay.
I enjoyed the entirety of PSO2 in 1 year of a bunch of updates.
Oh, God, because, yeah, the entirety of PSO2 from start to finish all shoved into a year is very chaotic.
It was very hard to like commit or invest into one particular thing, because it was like a gacha game. Like every other week, it's like there was something new coming out. Like, what am I supposed to do?
It's like, hey buddy, there's another AC Scratch coming out. Oh, hey, but in 3 or 4 weeks, in 3 or 4 weeks, there's one with an even better rate. Come on. God.
It's true, so true.
Yeah, the only thing I think we missed out on was like collaboration ones, I think.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate.
Yeah. Collaboration ones and voice tickets. That's the kind of stuff we missed out on.
Right. They did implement the voice tickets and NGS. They brought them all back, but it was like super chaotic because it was about like 150 voices all at once coming out in one scratch, or like 2 different scratches.
Wait, what?
One for female and one for male. Yeah, they all came out at the same time, and you couldn't even preview them. So it's like, my favorite voice, Type 2 voice 147. It's my favorite. It's like, oh my God, I don't know.
God. Because I know for a lot of the tie-in ones, you could get the tie-in voice actors for the most part. That is probably why licensing was hell.
Yeah. For sure.
Anyhow, Phantasy Star aside, we'll get back to that in a decent bit. But what inspired your design? So why a delivery VTuber?
Originally, I was a chef VTuber, and I don't know, I like the whole delivery aesthetic, but I couldn't really picture it. I think the one joke I get all the time, and I'm sure a lot of YouTubers suffer from this syndrome, is, wow, your character looks like Genshin Impact.
Oh no.
Every time. Every time. There was, I will say this right now, I will die on this hill. There was not a single Genshin Impact character in my reference sheet to make this possible. As a matter of fact, hold on. I wonder if I still have this picture. I could probably send to you. Here's like a very, very old design of it. Let's see. Do I still have this? Yeah, I like took pieces and bits of like characters that I enjoyed, or like features of characters I like, and Frankenstein them together to try to make it happen. So like you can kind of see that there's one hairstyle from PSO2 that I really enjoyed. That kind of just happened like
that one. Oh, I see.
Yeah, the Zest hairstyle. Yeah, that's one. Here's the other one. Like there was just so much. I like the bushy eyebrows and everything. I just took them from different characters I enjoyed and just kind of put it together. And then Calcius, my original artist, kind of did the heavy lifting for me.
Fair enough. But for mine, I just shoved a bunch of concepts together, tossed it. Let's see. At the time, they were still called Kantai instead of Patella, and I just shoved it straight at them. I was like, you know what? Here is illustration I did in a couple of hours while procrastinating from an exam, and here's the rest of the concepts I want to involve. Everything else is up to you. And they came out with this, so hey. Fair enough.
I think for the delivery version, because that was like a big overhaul, because I can I can take off and put on the cloak here. But the cloak, I think it came from like Raido Kusanagi from the Shin Megami Tensei series. It was called Devil Summoner.
Oh.
And they have like like those old Imperial Japan with like those black coats over them. I don't know how to explain it, but I really like that cloak that he had. I'm like, I want that to like be a winter version, and that's kind of like what I went off there. Yeah.
Fair enough. May as well get right into it. What was your model process like? So how was it from, let's see, how was it going through Patella, in which case for you?
For Patella, so before I even became like a VTuber, I sent them my character design that I worked with my artists, and they said, yeah, we're kind of full right now. We like your character, but we're kind of full. I'm like, okay, whatever. I want to be a VTuber right now. So the original artist design, Kelsey is. I was like, hey, you ever make a VTuber before? And he said, no.
Oh boy.
I was actually his first ever VTuber that he ever made. He knew a friend that did them, so he got some experience. He is the most adaptable artist I've ever seen. He definitely needs more credit because he can like do anything he sets his mind to, and that's how my original model came to be. They're really small Nonpon, almost like chibi, but not really. So he got that to work, and I was like blown away by it. Like, oh my god, like he took all the brain juices and put it into art. I'm like, oh, thank you. And then after that, he helped me design a winter version because I didn't want it to be 1-to-1. I didn't want to like have the old model and be like, okay, let me just upgrade it 1-to-1. I'm like, I don't want that. I don't want that. So we made a new design. I'm like, okay, this is what I'm gonna want. I sent the application to Patella, and I was thankful enough to get accepted, and here I am now.
Fair enough. Hi, and then you randomly reached out to me one day after they sent out the preview, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, I didn't have siblings before. I was an only child. Do you know how that felt? I was the first ever VTuber of my artists. I was the only child. Come on.
For me, I was like the first design officially released out by Patella, and then they had I think one more person which immediately just went straight to a model at the time, and that was it.
Oh yeah. I didn't know that we had so many siblings. Like I looked down the family tree, like Project Melody, Iron Mouse, like all these big VTubers. Like, oh okay, well, long distant relative, but whatever.
So if I recall, Project Melody, Iron Mouse, there's Oyama Aina out there.
Oh yeah.
Lucky Somni. Let's say Sukimaru Eisei. Let's say Terranox. There's you. Camille. Let's see, there's 10 as well. Daphne. Who else? Trying to think, because there is actually quite a lot of us.
I know, right? There's tons of us now.
Alright, there's Nora as well. But yeah, there's a lot of us just out there, and everyone's kind of just doing their own thing, I think. I don't think a good chunk of us ever collab that often.
Nah, not really. Well, I guess we are now, right?
yeah, now we are. Yeah. Alright, Mikazuki Mai as well. That one's the AirAsia VTuber, actually.
I didn't know that. Huh.
Yes, we have someone from AirAsia for whatever reason. Yes. Let's see, and for a while there was one other, but not anymore. They moved on to a different artist.
Oh.
Anyhow, may as well ask, why VTubing specifically? What exactly just made you go, yes, I want to be anime?
Doesn't everyone like wake up and think that? I don't know. Is that?
Wait, that's the actual justification there.
No, it's like me before. I streamed with a webcam. I did. I streamed with a webcam,
okay,
and like I had no shame. Like I'm not camera shy. I'm really not. Like I don't really have low self-esteem or low confidence. I don't really think those words kind of describe me. I don't mind using a face camera. But what happened was I just didn't feel very comfortable. Like I'm okay with how I look. I just didn't feel very comfortable having a camera on me. I don't know. Okay. It just kind of felt like that. So what happened afterwards is like, oh, I saw that these things were VTubers. I didn't really know much about them. I knew about some, like Kuzuna Ai. I was like, okay, that's kind of cool that this is getting kind of big. And I thought, well, you know what? I'm gonna turn my camera off. You know, it's not because I don't care about how I look, because I've obviously, you know, I started streaming with my face camera on. I'm like, oh, I'll just put a PNG in the bottom right corner or whatever, and I'll just do that and just let my voice do the talking. And then over time, I just evolved. It's like it wasn't so much of what is it? I feel like people want to become a VTuber before they want to become a streamer. Does that make sense? I feel like it should be a standard process. I feel like you should enjoy streaming before you enjoy becoming a VTuber, because VTubers just, I don't know, streaming, right? It's just with an avatar now. But if you're not like prepared for that, then you're not gonna enjoy yourself. So I enjoyed streaming. And I thought, okay, I enjoyed streaming. I think I might want to do this whole VTubing thing. And it didn't really feel much different. It just felt like a PNG, but now a very dynamic one that moves around. You know, over the years, it's just like I really enjoy doing this, and you know, I'm pretty comfortable in my life. I, you know, spend more money than I like to admit, but here I am now, and you know, it's not so much of like making a model nice for people to look at. It's a model that I wanted. You know, it's me. I come first. You know. I definitely come first in what I want on my stream. But yeah, I just thought that if I wanted a VTuber model, I would want it to look really cool and really nice, and the design that, you know, I came up with, and I'm just happy for it all to come to fruition. It's like just a plus one to streaming, really. It's no different than streaming, in my opinion. It's just VTubing. I mean, I don't really roleplay a character, I guess I can say that. Like sometimes I do, but I'm really just casual about it. I know some VTubers, like, they're like an anime Muppet.
Oh.
I don't know. like they really want to get into character of what they are, and that's fine. That's not me though. Like some people know I have a significant other, and some people know like I work as an HR manager, and I'm just really casual about it. You know, I guess I'm so open about my personal life because I'm happy with my personal life. I guess that's really it. Like, I could talk about my personal life because I'm happy about it? I don't know.
Fair enough. All I'll say is I heard the words HR and I immediately had flashbacks for a moment.
Oh, no. Were you in the HR department too?
Interned in it for a bit. For a very short bit.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, part of that was looking over people's documents and deciding whether to fire them.
Yeah, I still do that.
Oh god.
My job is a department of one person, and that's just me. So I like do everything. Yeah, I literally do everything, but no one really tells me what to do. So as long as I get the job done, that's all that matters.
Yeah, because my memories of working in HR for about 2 days, literally 2 days, is here's a bunch of people we need to fire, and here, chase these people up on superannuation. And I was like, I am a high
Oh,
school
no.
student. Half these things don't make sense, and you're giving me the power to fire somebody.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, that one was a time at a certain company. Good lord. Anyhow, with the VTubing part out of the way, more or less, what does content creation mean to you? A lot of people take this as like a philosophical question. I'm curious what your take on it is.
Doing whatever I want to do. I feel like content creation, it's kind of like a two-way street. I don't know. I feel like, to me, where do I even start? It's like there's a starting line, and then there's like 8 branches you can go through of a different mindset. And I feel like I've dabbled with each of these different mindsets on a daily basis to figure out what I actually want to do. But I will say, in my opinion, the path that I've went down more often is I'm a content creator to create content for people who need content. I guess what that means is, Phantasy Star, I like the game. There's not much content creators for it. I'm going to say that there's enough, but I feel like to have a purpose, just to be there to create a community for a game that is kind of a cult hit, not going to lie, but to be there for people who need a community. I did that for a lot of dead gacha games, actually. Some dead gacha games I played that to have like a community around it. So to me, that's what content creation is just being the helm of a community for a game that people enjoy together. Because I feel like if you like a very obscure or cult classic game, you can't just casually go up to any of your friends and be like, hey, have you heard about this very obscure anime game called Phantasy Star Online 2? They're 98% of the time they're going to say no, I'm sorry. So that's why if the whole streaming aspect lets you connect with people like a magnet who obviously like the same thing that you like. And then I feel like over time I had to learn, because there's 2 ways to look at
Australian internet, sometimes it just likes to fuck itself over.
It's okay.
I am like dead bang in the middle of the city, and it is still just like, yeah, nah, buddy. Yeah, nah.
I don't know when it went offline. I don't know where to start, but
Let's see. Give it a moment here. It's just catching up, pretty much. Let's see. Audience should be able to hear us again easily enough, but pretty much the main gist of it that I caught onto is, give back to give back to the players, or steer the helm, essentially. What I'll say when it comes to PSO content creators is I've had my fair share of, good interactions and a shit ton of grievances here and there.
oh no. Unfortunate.
If you, how deep into PSO2 were you during the American run of it?
I was pretty in deep, yeah. I played a bit. As a matter of fact, I think that's one of the conversations we talked about before. Is like when I first talked to you, you said that you played a bit of PSO2, or at least some of it, yeah. So you tell me.
So I was in the deep end until episode 5, and then my alliance collapsed.
Oh no.
And then because episode 5 for me was the quit point for me in the JP server, actually.
Okay.
And then when it came back around on NA, I quit again as well on episode 5.
Oh wow, hi, episode 5.
Yeah, episode 5 is just that bad, honestly.
We had a shorter time with it in America.
Oh yeah.
I can't global version because it went so fast.
Yeah, I came back for episode 6, but episode 5 was just that crippling that I was just like, oh man, this sucks. God, I hate episode 5. Because my memory of it was like 4 years of Hero being dominant.
Yeah.
That was my memory of it.
My friend told me that when Hero came out in JP, they were the only class that could double jump. I was like, what?
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
they fixed it.
They were the only class that could double jump. Their numbers and multipliers were insanely high to the point where you could just hold down Rising Slash and you would clear an entire room. And that was it. You wouldn't have to do anything else.
Yeah, I remember.
And then eventually, after 4 years, people got really pissed. They did a class update and everyone got shifted to about the same power. And Hero actually got bottomed out. Hero actually became one of the most useless classes in existence.
Oh no.
Because it took too much effort to get working. Then they released Phantom and everything broke.
Good old Phantom. They keep doing it.
And yeah. Let's see, what was the one after Phantom called again? Shit. The really guard and deflect heavy one. Fuck. Because it was Hero.
Adelaide?
Oh, Hero Phantom Atoll. That's right.
Atoll, whatever you want to call it. Atoll, I don't know.
Yeah. Atoll broke things even worse, because then you had the Hunter Atoll combo, and that broke everything entirely. Then Luster came out, and no one played anything but Luster.
Yeah, every time when they make a new class, like a new entire class, I'm always worried about it. If you don't, there's a new class coming in NGS, which is kind of mere summoner, but it's called the Waker.
Oh, no,
which
no.
It summons stuff. Yeah.
I see.
So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with that class. I hope not. I hope it doesn't break everything.
Okay, you know what broke NGS for me actually?
What broke NGS?
Killed my enjoyment of NGS?
Because you weren't playing with me.
Maybe, but first there was no content by the start of it. Second, when they finally released Braver, I died inside.
Why?
Braver was my favorite class. For one specific reason. It was explosive, it was fast, and the NGS version is a bloody turret. That's it.
You'd be kind of happy with how Braver is now. Braver is one of the highest DPS classes in the game. Actually, I think it's the highest right now. It's like super powerful. They changed it. Katana is nutty. Like, it is that powerful now.
Because the thing I enjoyed most with, say, Katana Braver was just all of the movement tech that you could use. So whether that was Asagiri or like Gurren, you could just spam those, cancel those certain ways just to get around really fast. And then when NGS Braver came out, I was like, oh god, this is slow. Oh god.
Yeah, NGS Braver is super slow. I feel like that's why they always overtune the damage. Now it's so powerful. It has no movement.
Yeah,
no movement at all.
I'm just like, oh man, this is sad. So I tried sticking with Gunner for a while, then I got bored of playing Gunner over and over again. So yeah. How does one put it? The main classes I played were Braver, Gunner, then eventually Luster, and that was about it, really. Yeah.
Everyone played Luster.
Of course everyone played Luster. I tried Phantom for a while, but it didn't really click because I played Rod Phantom and it was just like I'm playing an overglorified Force.
Yeah, kinda. Like Force of a gun.
Pretty much, yeah. Force with a gun and your DPS kind of felt shit, pretty much. Because you had to put yourself in danger's way, but putting yourself in danger's way also meant you got one shot because Phantom just really doesn't have any lifelines at all.
Not much, no.
Yeah, you get Jespent or whatever they called it, and then yeah, you fall to half HP and you die. Like I don't know how else to put that when it came to Phantom. It was just.
I feel like a lot of PSO2 just felt like that when you try to do end game. It's like, yeah, you know what, you get hit once, you did. That's it. Game over.
And that's how it is eventually. At least with a good chunk of the other classes, you had your little lifeline or fallbacks. Yeah. Anyhow, give me a second here to just handle something in chat.
Yeah, get him. Get him.
Yeah, I'm I'm not exactly for that. So hi. Even if someone just goes like, yeah, can you do? No, please don't. Anyway. I'll go over like just the quick grievances I had with PSO2 content creators. It's just market manipulation, pretty much.
Okay.
So if you were ever in very deep and you heard about the quote-unquote Xbox Mafia and all that other bullshit, that was me.
What do you mean?
I was sitting with some of the guys which were making the most meseta in the entire game, entire server.
Okay.
We were sitting on billions because every time someone found out that there was a little trend in the market, we'd swipe everything up and sell it all.
No, you're a scalper.
So you remember episode 4 when Earth crystals were a thing?
Yeah.
You remember how on release people only valued them at about 20k?
What did you do?
We scalped them all and sold them at 500k each.
Oh my god. Heck no. What do you...
Because we knew that people were going to discover timed abilities in about a week or two. Was the thing. So when people discover timed abilities, that was just going to be the last moment we had to flip everything that was related to timed abilities and crafting.
Yeah, I feel like that was a big problem with global trying to catch up really fast, because if anyone, it held the power to all the JP players who knew what was going to come out. Now, granted, a lot of things are kind of different between JP and global.
Oh,
like, everything is one to
different.
one, but you can make a really good assumption of what's going to trend depending on what's going to be released at the time. I would say at least 60% of the time you were right, because they kept adding more stuff afterwards anyway. So it was like really hard to make a profit on that.
So the weirdest things they changed for EN was the release timing of Summoner and Crafting, actually.
Yeah, I remember that.
Crafting should have been an episode 3 thing, Summoner should have been an episode 4 thing, I believe it was. Yeah.
Yep. And Summoner was on release. Just on release in global. And there was no crafting, which was weird.
Yeah, that felt really weird for me, the complete and total lack of crafting. I was like, it feels like there's something more I should be doing when exploring these free zones. Oh, that's why. Oh, nothing's here. Oh, that's a problem.
Right.
Because then afterwards it would be like, oh, considering that's a problem, everything is going to go to hell very soon, very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I can't find an alliance that's got a slot near the top. I looked up the alliances. Okay, Toblerone, Stardust Drive, Bullies. Okay. Huh. Why are all these names very familiar? Heads over to the 4chan thread. Oh, that's why all these names are very familiar. They're all the 4chan alliances.
Oh no.
And I was like, yeah, you know what? I'll pick one of them and join up and see which one's actually got slots. So I messaged each of the alliance leaders. I was like, went to the Bullies one. They're like, no, they're not taking any people. Daikon, nope, they're not taking any people. Toblerone, I think I'll stay away from the Toblerone guys. They're kind of scary. And then Stardust Drive, I was like, huh, these guys are chill. Goes in, they clear Magatsu in like a minute. I'm like, fuck. This is the kind of bunch I've joined, haven't I? Alright. Time to optimize and catch up. Oh god.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of those alliances aren't even around anymore in NGS. A lot of them kind of dissipated.
I know the only one that's alive is maybe Toblerone, but those are all shipped to alliances, pretty much. Because yeah, Stardust collapsed in episode 5, so when I quit, I was like, where the hell did half our members go? They collapsed and they pretty much went to the rest of the 4chan alliances. That was quite funky, honestly.
Oh, that's what they did. Okay. So
Yeah.
Kind of like merged together.
So eventually I just ended up in Toblerone for a while, and I was like, well, Toblerone for episode 6, they were a good bunch. NGS came out, I stuck with them for a bit. Braver came out, I was like, yeah, nah, I'm good. Bow Braver feels like trash. Katana Braver feels like trash. yep, I'm out of here.
Oh no.
But yeah, the one little bit of market manipulation that really fucked us over was anytime Anamana opened his mouth. That's what I'm going to say.
Oh yeah?
Yep. Just one guy. The moment he opened his mouth, anything that we happened to be trying to flip at the time suspiciously got turned on its head.
Yeah, they go by Gamma Taters now. And they've actually transitioned, but I know what you're talking about. They've actually mentioned that in their videos that like they didn't really know that it was it would flip the market. But yeah, I heard about that. I heard about that drama. Yeah.
Because thing was like the bunch I was with, they were mostly JP veterans, so they knew what the player base would want after a while, and they knew that certain scratch tickets would be ridiculously profitable, etc., etc. Like they held on really long for the big chested one. Jesus Christ. So some of them were just like, I am not spending a cent until the big chest comes out, and then when that comes out,
oh no,
I'm dumping everything.
True.
Yep. They did that for quite a lot of things actually. But yeah, for Anamana, Doombreak, we were farming that before that video came out. And then the moment it came out, we were like, fuck. Goodbye to our 500k plus Doombreaks. They're going down to 50k. Well, it was nice knowing you guys. And then let's see. Was it Primordial Darkness? No, it was... whatever. The episode 3 final boss. The units that one dropped. So the 11 star units. Which eventually just become meta units later down the line, just for the sheer amount of PP they give. But yeah. Those units, moment Anamana made a video on those, those rocketed up in price as well. Those hit 30, 40, 90 million. Oh god, oh fuck, why? A couple of us managed to ride the wave and catch a profit, but it was far earlier than we were hoping for, essentially. So it was like, Shogunai. But yeah. I'm curious though. What was your experience like going through an entire year's worth of content and everything hitting the fan, essentially?
Honestly, it just felt like a lack of motivation to improve or anything, because the next best thing, again, like that whole gacha game mentality. So I was just kind of like, had that whole mentality of playing PSO2 because it was fun kind of thing. Didn't really care much for crafting. I was so casual with PSO2. The one thing I wasn't casual at though was PvP. While some people may call it garbage, I mean they're right. But I got into the top 10 rankings of PvP. Like I grinded that stuff so hard because again I didn't care about grinding or trying to like invest into stuff that would just get power crap the next week over because of how fast it happened. But in PvP, it doesn't matter what you have, it doesn't matter. In challenge quests, it doesn't matter. So I just did that content and yeah, I got really good at PvP and earned a lot of SG along with it. So that was a lot of fun actually. That was actually a ton of fun.
Yeah, because
when we did that.
PvP in PSO2 is weird. Really weird. Like, how does one put it? There were 4 things a week you needed to do if you wanted star gems. You had to hit up the casino, you had to do your time attack and rank, and you had to do challenge quests. And then you had to do PvP.
Yep.
Why did you get good at that?
Because like if you were in top ranking in PvP, it was like 500 star gems it was a lot. Like if it was a lot of star gems. Come on, it was a lot.
Yeah,
it was a lot. If you stayed in that ranking, like if you stayed there, you rake that in.
Jesus Christ, I didn't think I'd run into a PvP player for PSO.
PvP, yeah, of all things, right? A rare commodity, a PvP player for PSO2. I want that in NGS. I do.
Like this isn't a rare commodity. This is a fucking unicorn. This thing doesn't exist. Just oi. Just God. Of all the things you could do, was it worth it? The star gems.
I got 100 1,000 battle points and was able to buy the mini Rappy suit, and then I sold it for like 200 mil. Because no one wanted to do PvP. It was marketable, so I just I used all my PvP points, bought the mini Rappy suit, sold it for 200 million instead of like, oh yeah, it was worth it. It was a good money maker because you could buy those, you could get those camos and sell them because no one wanted to do PvP. No one wanted to do that. You could just sell them. It was a good money maker. It was super good because no one wanted to do it.
I remember getting one of those camos as like a reward, and I was like, oh, how much does this sell for? Looks at the price and went, oh fuck. Okay, this is actually gonna sell for quite a bit. Okay.
Yeah. That's what I did.
Yeah, I touched PvP a total of maybe 5 or 6 times during the NA release. It was the one part of the weekly rotation of stuff I was not bothered to do. Because everything was just like, let's see, casino, you just played Akuma slots, and you know, you get lucky enough, you just cash out, goodbye, you're done.
Right.
Let's see, challenge quest, that was, let's see, the Alliance got really good at those to the point where we'd consistently rank. So yeah, that was just 1 or 2 runs a week and we were done, out of there. Time attack was way too competitive, I'll be honest.
A little bit, yeah.
Because the thing is, you'd look in the time attack record and you'd see everyone from all of the other alliances and it'd be like, oh, ooh, I know you guys. I know I'm not going to be I'm not going to be able to match you guys. Fuck.
I feel like the issue with time attack is that you used your own gear for it, so it was like, I don't know. Yeah. You had the min-max store to get a good time anyway.
Oh yeah. The only one I think the only one I could rank on was Nibarius 1 or Nibarius 2, I think it was. Whichever one required you to push all the buttons in a weird sequence so you could skip a bunch of boss fights.
Oh yeah, I hated that one.
Oh, I memorized that one from back on the JP server. So when I loaded up Nibarius 1 time attack, I was like, this is not the same as what I remember. Something's different about this. Why is it just murder everything? Then I did 2 and I was like, okay, this is exactly what I remember. Okay. Give me my Meseta for clearing this. Looks at the client orders for it. Wait, I thought this was meant to give 200k Meseta. Looks over. Nope, you get 5k for clearing this. Nothing else. I'm like,
oh yeah.
they changed the client orders because the one thing that used to fund outfits back on JP was time attack.
Really?
Yeah. The time attack client orders.
No wonder their market was so inflated. I was like, what? You can just casual buy something for 60 mil? Like, yeah, no big deal.
Yeah. You couldn't do that on JP. You actually had to grind out time attacks. And you'd do the whole spread of them in the week, and that would get you like 2 mil at most.
Wow.
And then they changed how the dailies and weeklies worked, and then they removed time attack client orders, so you couldn't just stack both of those. So, it's fine, I guess. It's fine.
It is what it is. It be what it be.
But I'll have to ask, aside from PSO2, what other games do you play?
Uh-oh. Okay, well, hey, you know, recently I was playing the Somnium Files Nirvana, like the AI Somnium Files, which is a visual novel, and it is really, really good. It's super good. So I do like playing other JRPGs. So I play Phantasy Star Online 2, and then I'm playing Neon White as well. And then I'm playing Phantasy Star Online 2. And then I'll play Xenoblade Chronicles 3. And then I'll play I'll play Fantasy Online 2. And I'll probably play like Digimon Survive as well. Digimon Survive's coming out. So I'm gonna try to get into a point where I always have like some kind of side game, because with any kind of MMO, there's always gonna be a drought, and you kind of need something on the back burner to keep yourself sane. But again, I still like Phantasy Star. It's just that I gotta, have something else to do, like a little recess here and there, right?
Yeah, fair enough. Because when it came to PSO, yeah, at the time that I quit, it was just yeah, you go to zone, you grind weapons. This is the same as doing ultimate quests again. That's about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I will have to ask, how much has NGS improved in the past year?
A lot. Like a lot. It's like not even the same game anymore. I feel like we're in that drought right now where people don't have much to do, but there are 7-star weapons in the game that you have to grind for.
Oh god.
You can do it through like an unorthodox way if you want to. But we have 3 regions, so we have the starting one, we have Rhythm, which is the desert, and then we have Kavars, which is the winter area. And it's really, really, really fun. It's still a lot of fun. There's like this questionable decision. I'm not sure if I'm okay with it or not. So you have this thing called the Gorge.
Okay.
All right, the Gorge. Not gonna lie, this is probably the most prettiest area in the game because it's like a frozen river.
All right.
That you just go down. In order to go inside the Gorge, you need to have this temperature resistance thing on, so you can either put augments on or use a consumable, so you get it for like 1 hour or something. Okay. And there's a bunch of high-level bosses in there, and you can kill these bosses to try to get rarer drops. One of them is a super rare one called the Rugged Weapon series, which honestly, think of Psycho 1 all over again. If you remember Psycho 1, or if you remember Form Scythe, yeah, it's that rare. So I liked that a lot because it was just like, okay, you get 32 people, go around, kill a bunch of bosses over and over and over and over and over again until you get bored, right? So this is what I don't like. There's a cave in this gorge that has an ancient enemy. And no one's going out into the river and fighting the bosses anymore. All they're doing is just going inside that cave and waiting for him to spawn, because he drops this mandatory mat you have to farm to. There are 2 7-star weapons, right? There's a really rare rugged one, or there's one that you craft.
Oh no.
And he drops the mats that you need to craft. So basically, it's kind of causing this contingency between having a pretty fun gameplay loop of just joining up with people and killing bosses over and over again, but now you're just fighting this one boss over and over and over again. So it's like it turned it on its head. I don't really like the whole ancient enemy thing. It's like, it was fine, it was fun, but now everyone's rushing for this weapon series. Like, oh no. So that's what I don't like. Yeah, the freest thing is go on.
I will say PSO2 probably has among the more complicated weapon crafting that I've ever had to deal with. Jesus Christ. So, yeah,
it was pretty crazy.
It was very abstract for some of it. It's like, let's see, like pre-episode 4, episode 5, everything was just like, okay, get drop, add augments, upgrade, done. After that section where they introduced new type weapons and old type weapons were just thrown out the window, it just became, yes. Now then, have you heard about potentials, S-class augments, and everything in between? To be fair, getting an 8-slot weapon wasn't that bad. You just needed the appropriate route and appropriate augments, and you'd be perfectly fine. But anything past that was just absolute. God, why? Why?
You better hope you get your house of cards stacked correctly, otherwise it's gonna fall apart. It was so bad.
Unit crafting was the worst, or specking units was probably the worst thing. I think that's eventually just what got me to stop playing PSO in, let's say, PSO2 on the NA side before NGS came out, because like, sure, I could make these 300, 400 plus stat units, but why? Why?
Well, why though?
Every time I looked at someone running around with those, like, there was one guy in my alliance I knew. I just asked, all right, so how much did that cost you? 40 hours and $1 billion. I'm like, I don't have $1 billion to my name, so I am going to pass. My god. Yeah. So there's just one enemy there sitting that just drops crafting materials and everyone just waits for it. Huh.
Yeah, that's not even the worst part though. I didn't mention the worst part.
Okay, what's the worst part then?
Oh, No. Okay, so in order to craft this weapon I talked about, you have to go and fight those ancient enemies a lot. So that's already hindering what could have been really fun to fighting one boss and one boss only. Okay. So there's this thing called Blizzardian.
Okay.
You need 150 of them.
Uh-huh.
You can get one a day.
Okay.
You can also trade in mats to exchange for 20 a week.
Uh-huh.
So in theory, 27 a week. Okay, so sounds kind of bad. And again, in theory, about a month and a half, you would get the weapon.
Okay.
So people aren't doing that. You see, Sega thought of this. We have something new. We have a new fun way to farm stuff. We have snowboards.
Eh?
We have snowboards. And
snowboards?
with these snowboards are also, they're pickaxes apparently, because you can't break open these frozen boxes unless you ride a snowboard into it.
Huh?
These snowboards have a 3% chance to drop Blizzardium. Okay, so every day throughout the map, there's probably, I'll just make a guess and say there's 50 boxes you can break.
Okay.
All right, so you break open 50 boxes with snowboards, and then depending on your luck, you could get, I don't know, maybe I'll go ahead and throw, we'll say you can get 35 a week if you do your natural box breaking, maybe, and then do the the mandatory ones you get for free. So okay, so we have 35 a week, right?
Okay.
After you've exchanged for these, after you get your one free a day, after you break open 50 boxes, okay. So that's not enough. So there's this thing called urgent quests, or I guess in your case, emergency codes.
Uh-huh.
That will spawn 6 boxes that you can break with a snowboard. So you have to farm to get this code, to use a snowboard, to break it open, to get a chance to get Blizzardiums. And then you have to remember you get 150 of these. People got them on week 1. People are crazy. People got them on week 1. They just kept doing it. They kept going and going and going. People got the weapon in 1 week. I'm not doing that. It's an unorthodox way, but you can do it. You can do it.
Oh god.
But I've been just kind of chilling. I'm like, I'm not really gonna break open a bunch of boxes. There is a new event coming out that you can exchange for Blizzardiums, so that's good. But I kind of value my time a bit,
Yeah.
a little bit.
Fair enough. That just seems like a certain kind of hell. Every day snowboarding.
Our frozen winter wonderland. Mm-hmm. But
Yeah,
even then, I still like it because the weapons are a luxury. The entire like game right now is definitely balanced around 6-star weapons. I feel like when you craft this 7-star weapon or get that really rare 7-star drop, it's like you're playing with mods on.
Oh.
Because like they're that much powerful. Like the power jump between a 6-star and the 7-star is so exponential that you are playing with mods on at that point because you are doing so much damage. So it's worth it. It's worth the reward. But it also depends on how much you value your time. Yeah.
Wait a second. Do these weapons come with a fixer or no?
No, they don't come with Fixa. But even without Fixa, they're still more powerful than 6-stars with level 5 Fixa anyway. Like that's how much powerful. Like they're that much better.
Wait a second. Can rugged weapons drop with fixer then?
Yes.
Oh no.
But they're so rare anyway that if you get one with a Fixa, you are very lucky.
God. Speaking of mods and whatnot, there were, during PSO2's American run, there were 2 types of mods that were being run. Take a guess what those were.
Wasn't that like the tweaker, so it could run better? Or unless you're referencing something else.
Oh, I'm meaning something beyond the surface level, pretty much. Because almost everyone uses tweaker.
When you say beyond the surface level, do you mean literally on the surface level of like skin, or do you mean like what?
Okay. So the two that were being used was, one of them was straight out just, cheats and hacks, and that kind of screwed up the leaderboards at one point on ship 2. And the other was, well, anything that enabled ERP. Anyway. So the hacks one was a massive fucking scandal. Holy shit. Everyone got really pissed at this one alliance that claimed that they were the #1, etc. Blah blah blah. Everyone got super pissed at them because they were being like full superiority complex kind of affair. And looking down on everyone. And all that. And then we looked at their scoring and looked at everything. We were like, oh, you're just flat out cheating. Oh, that's an impossible score to reach unless you have people farming either 24/7 or you have something that accelerates the process. So we snuck one of our guys into their alliance. We had them go on a run. You know what we saw?
What'd you see?
We saw that the moment any enemy popped up, they had about 5 weak bullets applied all over them. Or blight rounds all over them. In other words, yeah, it was flat out just massive amplification of damage on everything. In the most impossible way possible. So it's like, oh, okay. Now this is just fucked. On top of that, it seems they had a way of getting like a rarity booster up to a ridiculous extent as well. And they also, let's see, what was it? Right. The most scummy thing they did was they would DM random players and be like, do you want to join the #1 alliance? Here's your invite.
Number one.
Snipes someone for the #1 alliance, milks them for all of their alliance points that are available that week, then kicks them from the alliance.
Wow.
So they did everything just to super inflate a whole bunch of meaningless stats and then hold it over everyone's heads.
Yeah, Ship 2 had a lot of drama, actually. I know about that.
Yeah.
I actually playing Ship 1. I kind of avoided that meteor.
Yeah. Ship 1. Ship 1's comfy. Ship 3 is comfy. Ship 2 is elitism up the roof.
I feel like things have changed since NGS. Like that history is kind of, behind us now. But people don't forget.
Yeah, people don't forget because Jesus Christ, that particular guild just died really fast.
A lot of new players to NGS honestly don't know about it, it's better that way.
Yeah, it's much better that way.
It's definitely better that way. It makes me happy when they say they don't know what happened. I kind of keep it to myself, really, because again, I don't want to stir that pot, and people who play now have nothing to do with what happened in the past. But I just hope that that stigmata or that root is just kind of pulled out from the ground, and it's not going to happen again.
I think NGS at this point has become that niche game that people just aren't really going to pull off that kind of stuff, so to speak. Like, there's not as much merit to it. Back then there was too many eyes on, so it was still just bragging rights and whatnot. But yeah, now it's like NGS has fallen to the wayside. Like the way a couple of friends of mine describe it is it's your dress-up simulator when you just want to do some character customization and then fuck off, basically.
Yeah, it's the combat's. I think the combat's more fun than PSO2. It's like not clunky anymore, and everyone can actually move fast. Having to rely on movement PAs was the worst thing ever. I hated that.
I got used to it to the point where I was like, yes, time to move. Spam zills on day. Okay, time to not move anymore. God, that was a funky time.
Yeah. For sure.
I don't know. These days, like I think one of the changes I actually did like a lot in NGS was just what they did to Gunner. Gunner just felt nice. Gunner's nice.
That's what I play. Gunner was kind of meh before. And the reason for that is because Stylish Roll was bad. Like he couldn't use invincibility frames before the attacks were over. So you would Stylish Roll and get hit anyway.
Yeah.
That wasn't very fun. That was kind of bad.
I don't know. Whenever I see Gunner, it's like, yeah, it looks like a lot of fun playing Gunner. Because I remember early PSO2 or original PSO2, you could do a lot of funky tech stuff to boost out more damage. You could hit the damage cap for 24 hits, I think it was. Something like that.
Yeah. Gunner's pretty cool now because it's a chain time's kind of different. But if you get a Stylish Roll in, your next attack is okay. So when you get a Stylish Roll, you get 20 of your power points back or photon points. Your next move is more powerful, and your next move is also invincible.
Wait, what?
So yes, it is invincible. So it's hilarious when I do a Stylish Roll and I know the enemy's about to do like a really big attack. It's like, oh, I'm just gonna iframe out of this entire thing and just not even care. I just do not care. I don't have to. Fully invincible.
Jesus, because back then we had to rely on a potential to do that, I think. Yeah. Back then there was a potential that the moment you burst your, let's say the moment you activated chain trigger, you had like 15 seconds of invulnerability. And that was it. But since you can chain more often in PSO2 NGS, that's just like, oh god. Jesus, alright. Fair enough. Just free invuln to just Stylish Roll, pop your chain.
Yeah, it's really good. The best part is like when you have 100 chain, and you know how the chain works. Like when you pop your chain, you get more damage. So you get to 100 chain, and then you do a Stylish Roll. So your next move is, you know, more powerful and invincible, and you pop your chain at the same time.
Oh,
that hurt. That hurts. That's the good stuff. That's the meaty damage.
Yep. So base game PSO2, you know what was the funkiest thing you could do with Gunner? You did what was called a weapon swap.
You're talking about Ranger Gunner, about how they had chain bullets and then light bullet?
No. The weapon swap was a very dumb technique where you would abuse the game's logic, essentially.
Okay.
You know how in base game PSO2, most Gunner PAs have like two steps to them? Like there's the first part, second part. Like, and by comboing certain things, you would skip the first part.
Yeah.
Whatnot. Or you'd skip the charge time, at least. Yeah. So there were certain ways you could abuse PAs to max out damage. So one of them was you activate chain trigger, you get to 100 chain, blah blah blah, and then do you remember the move or the PA Messiah time? So the one where you jump forwards, shoot a couple of bullets, flip upside down, and unload a shit ton of bullets?
Of course, I missed that one.
Yeah, that one's really fun, and the unfortunate part is if you use that during a chain, it does like next to no damage, simply because that first few set of bullets does absolutely nothing.
Right.
The thing was, there was a way you could abuse it so that you would, let's see, you would pretty much miss all of the initial bullets and you would only get the damage from the second half.
Okay.
Yep. What you'd have to do is you'd activate chain, get to 100, trigger Messiah time, immediately swap to a different set of twin machine guns, wait for the animation for you to flip back upside down. The moment you flip back upside down, swap back to the other weapon.
Oh my god.
Because the game would...
the transition, yeah.
Yeah, the game would register the first few shots as complete duds and doing 0 damage, no damage at all, so it wouldn't pop your chain. But then the second half of the PA would go off and you would max out damage for 24 hits.
Oh my god. I didn't even know about that. That sounds insane.
So very casually, you could do 24 million damage.
No big deal. Seems okay. Seems fine.
So the thing was, you could abuse this to hell on a bunch of different things. Like I think Infinity Storm was the name of the other one that you could kind of do something funky with. Because for that one, it starts with a kick and then the sudden big burst explosion. People would, with the kick, do the explosion, do satellite aim like maybe twice, and then do the same thing again. So you would get a dumb amount of damage as well that way. The only issue with that one is it maxed out damage a lot faster, so the Messiah time one was just that much better and that much more disgusting. Because you could do the Messiah time, then you followed up with one more satellite aim or, you know, elbow bash or whatever, shoulder bash, whatever it was called. Guard advance. I don't know. Honestly, I was way too happy when I realized in NGS you could do the guard advance. So I was like, oh, this is nice. I can parry things again. Huh.
Yeah. Gunner is definitely my Ranger is actually really hyped now too. Which is strange to say. Yeah, it's strange, right?
What like, they do to Ranger?
So Ranger and Gunner can both do this because they both use assault rifles.
Okay.
So Ranger has this weapon action where all you kind of like do a funny skip, and then you shoot some bullets. And there's like a little bit of invincibility frames there, not that much, but enough to dodge something.
Yeah.
So if you held down the weapon action, you can do one of two things. You can one, throw a grenade, or two, put down a landmine.
Oh, you have traps now.
Okay. Yeah, the landmine is 700% potency.
Huh.
It is a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. So it's a 30-second cooldown. So every 30 seconds, I'm gonna put down a landmine. 700% potency. Easy. And especially on a weak point. Just easy, free.
Oh
right?
God.
So,
okay.
So they made it so okay. Now it's almost like a bad prank. Like Sega just made this prank. Like, wouldn't it be funny if you dodged an attack with the rifle weapon action, and then you got your landmine back for free and don't have to wait 30 seconds? Wouldn't that be funny? So you can put down the landmine. He's about to attack you. You dodge a weapon action, put down another landmine. He attacks you again. You just dodge again, put down another landmine. I've had 4 landmines on the screen at once. Just dodging nonstop. It is so hype. You just like, I'm gonna go over here, grenade. I'm gonna go over here, another grenade, and it's just so much damage. It's actually, it's unethical. It's unethical damage. It's not right. So Ranger is actually pretty hype now with a rifle. You just have to get really good at practicing that dodge. But dude, it is insane.
Oh God, because I remember Sega's main focus was, by the end of the game's life cycle, they wanted to shift everything to pretty much dodge counter, pretty much.
Oh, almost, yeah.
Yeah. I think the one class that broke that mold was just Luster at the end, because you just really didn't have to.
No.
You just needed to time your combos instead, and that was it. Like, if you had perfect timing on link or combo links, then yeah, played Luster. That was it.
Right.
I only knew a couple of people that played the dodge counter version. Those were the people I knew with the highest DPS, by far. Like, by a country mile. They did more DPS than everyone else because they were bothered to put in the effort. However, you see Luster's numbers. An extra 10-15% on top of that is, it's overkill for almost all content unless you're going like endless or depths or, anything beyond that. Then right. Well, that was absolute overkill. Anyhow, give me my gun slash back in NGS, please. Can I just get a class that uses gun slash?
Just start over and play in ship 1. You can just play with me. Easy. Easy.
Yeah, just give me a class that's like Luster again. Thank you. God, that class was still just broken as fuck. Honestly.
It really is.
Yeah, I'm surprised though. Ranger used to be the one that was like 0 mobility.
Yeah. It was like kind of boring, no mobility, but yeah, it's pretty hype now to a point where like I might. There's multi-weaponing in NGS.
Oh yeah.
And the best weapons to use for gunner is twin machine gun's rifle.
Oh. Oh,
I might just make the rifle first, like my 7-star weapon. I might just do rifle first, just to see the big number for the landmines, because I just gotta see it. I just gotta see, like, obviously Gunner's gonna do more DPS, but those landmines, like, I need my big JRPG number moment. That's what I need.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
PSO2
sure
has a lot of those. God.
I'm pretty sure I can casually hit. I know this isn't much compared to base right now.
Uh-huh.
But I'm pretty sure I can casually hit probably 10k on average with that 7-star weapon, blight bullet, and a grenade, and just over and over again. Just easy 10k. Don't worry, it's fine.
Yeah. And at that point, landmines mix in a photon burst, laugh.
Yeah.
Just oh god. Alright, let's see. I did have an odd question that I occasionally throw to people, not most often to be honest, but you already kind of threw an inkling of it earlier. So you mentioned the need for someone to like streaming before becoming a VTuber. Can you elaborate on that, actually?
I feel like, and I've gotten this sometimes too, like I haven't gotten this in a while, which is fine, but also I feel like I just have, I don't know, I have a really good community, and I think that we really have no drama in our community at all. Like, we have almost 400 people in our Discord. There's no drama.
Oh god damn.
I like it a lot. Yeah, I like it a lot. But there's one thing that spoke to me like a long time ago. Someone mentioned like, oh, you're just VTuber now because it's kind of like a pay to win to easily stream, or whatever. And it's really not a pay to win thing.
God, no, it isn't.
It's not. But people have this facade, right? Like, I want to become a VTuber. I want to become this internet idol that people like, and I'm gonna be an anime character, and I'm gonna stream, and people are gonna love me. And those people kind of break apart as soon as their numbers go down after the debut. And I know that people say they don't care about numbers or don't worry about numbers. I find a medium. Halfway I do, halfway I don't. Otherwise I'm gonna go insane if I pick one or the other. Like, I find a medium between doing what I like to do, but also doing what people like to see. Anyway, I feel like people, when they start VTubing, and I've seen this so many times, they're gonna debut, they're gonna be really happy, they're gonna have a bunch of people, and then when they finally try the stream, like actually stream, not just being a VTuber, but actually trying to stream, they have no idea what they're doing. They realize, wow, this is probably a mistake, and they start like hurling insults at themselves. Like, am I not good enough? Do people not like me? It's like, people don't know you. People, oh no, people don't like me. Oh, my numbers are going down. People, my brother in Christ, people don't know you. You're not streaming. like you're not actually. What do you mean? What do you mean? So that's what I mean. Like, before you even become a VTuber, before you even consider it, you just gotta like streaming first. And sometimes it's not for everybody. People think like, oh, I'm gonna like streaming. You might not. You might not like streaming at all. There's good things and bad things that come of it, and I feel like, and this is the problem with social media in general, like the problem with social media, the minorities that do very well, like exceptionally well, like 80,000 viewers or something, like on average, the minorities are the ones that get the most attention and give you this facade that's achievable. And while it is, you should kind of take your steps at a time. I feel like a lot of social media is always focused on the big people that are like the 0.001% of Twitch or YouTube, and there's such a focal point on them, right? Because they're huge, but you can't focal point on everybody else who's like kind of huge, and then you definitely can't focal point on everyone else that's like, I'm kind of big, kind of not. You don't see all those people. You only see that one person, and you think to yourself, oh, if I do this thing or become a VTuber, this will be it. It's not. God. It's not. It really isn't.
I'll put it this way. Anyone with about 5 viewers or more is already in the top 7% or so.
Right.
Yeah.
It's hard. It is really hard. And it takes luck too. I think I'm lucky. I really do. Like, I've seen people who are better streamers than me, and I feel like they should have more success than me, but it's luck. It really is. I've seen people who, my primal inner thoughts or impulse, like, like their mic's not even like adjusted. There's a fan in the background. The bit rate's horrible. Why are they? It's luck. A lot of it's luck. The only thing you can do is give your 100% every day, because opportunity is going to come by you like a conveyor belt, right? And you're just going to be there 100% prepared, because what matters is how prepared are you for when these opportunities come. How prepared are you? Because because people get those opportunities at different times, and sometimes they just get them really early. That's just how it is. But if you're not prepared when an opportunity comes by, then you're going to miss it. That's just how it is. You have to be prepared, because if you're like, oh, I'm only going to give 50% today, or maybe like a 70% here, when that opportunity comes by, you're probably going to miss it. You don't know. So that's all you can do. You can just give it your all, make it matter every day, try to improve. And then if that opportunity comes by, then take it. But it takes patience too. Not everyone gets all the lucky stuff right away. Most of us don't. I will say that most of us don't.
I'm pretty much going to put it as, if you don't play the game, you're not going to win anything. That's pretty much how it is. So when you get any kind of VTuber or sort which just goes on Twitter, complains, doesn't stream for a while, then streams once, then goes back to doing that loop over and over, streaming only once a week and then complaining again, are we talking about
V-tweeters?
To an extent. It's more so the people that just think they're putting in a goddamn amount of effort, but in reality, everyone else is going above and beyond in comparison, is the thing.
Right.
So the more entitled types, which are like, I am VTuber, I deserve views. That's not how it works, buddy.
No,
I will put it in terms of my work. I am a dealer. I watch people sit at a table and watch me deal a game. If they don't put a bet down, there is zero chance they're going to win. Right. I have had people complain to me afterwards being like, oh, I would have won that if I put down a bet. I'm like, but you didn't. Yeah, threw away 5.5k because you didn't put your bet down. I'm not going to give you the bet. You just didn't take the opportunity when it was presented to you. You had a good feeling. You decided to let it pass. I'm not going to compensate you for that fact.
Right.
So, yeah, at the end of the day, it becomes... The logic I have is... Sure, you need to get lucky. But weigh the RNG in your favor. Make yourself as many chances as possible, then you can finally take one when it hits, is the thing. Like, come on.
No, I definitely get it. You gotta... It also takes confidence, too, because I feel like people who are pretty wishy-washy or too reserved don't really dive off the diving board.
And, like, here's the thing. There are too many introverts here. Way too many introverts. Like, I don't know how to put it aside from the fact that I've done a couple of interviews here and there. A bit more than a couple. Closer to like, I think I'm bordering on 60-something, 70-something at this point. On this platform, at least. And you can tell the sheer difference between someone who's like introverted or extroverted, or someone who's got the confidence to back their words or not. I will say the people that don't have any confidence whatsoever that I've had on here have probably been the most boring interviews I have done by a country mile. There are people which aren't even the fucking, like, look, there are people that are tops, there are people that are bottoms, and then there are people that are the fucking doormat. I would like to say I've had about 4 people on here who have been the fucking doormat. I'm just like, I am sitting here with you, putting aside 2 hours of my day. I took an interest in you because I thought you had something going for you. Please. Please.
Must have fooled you if I made you think I had something going for me.
No, you've provided a fair bit more than that bunch. So, my god. I'll be honest, the VTubing community, there's too much entitlement, not enough action.
I'm not gonna lie, and maybe I'll get melted for this, but I don't really Local VTuber Nonpon doesn't really like the VTuber community. I don't know, and maybe that's just because, oh man, it's
Here
only
we
what I
go.
see on Twitter's. It's only what I see on Twitter. So obviously that's a bad statement. But every fucking promoted tweet. I'm sorry for cursing, but every tweet I get here, about promoted VTuber tweet is drop your PNGs, drop your links, those stupid follow for follow, bullshit.
Yeah.
And then there's other ones that are like, there's I'm not gonna lie, there's some fucking humor VTubers too. There's some humor VTubers, and then there's ones that kind of just RP a lot, and that's fine. Like I don't mind that. But that's just not me. I'm not into it. It's just like. I don't know. I don't really have anything to hide. I wear my heart on the sleeve, and I just like say how I feel, and I talk about back what I said originally, like I'll talk about my personal life because I don't know. Maybe that's it. Maybe people make a VTuber model so they can like live in a different world as a different character and just completely ignore what's around them instead. Man, that's a hot take, but I don't know. Like, maybe it's not me. Maybe I shouldn't have become a VTuber if that's what I was supposed to do, but it's not what I do.
Well, honestly, the way I'll put it is VTubing can work as escapism only if you have enough to back it up, so to speak. Because here's one thing that VTubers kind of throw entirely out the window, and it is one of the most important things if you want to be any kind of famous or any kind of popular. You need a bloody story. If you don't have a story, no one's really going to listen to you. If you don't have some kind of basis somewhere, no one's going to listen to you. If you don't have a story, no one's going to empathize with anything you say whatsoever, so to speak. And VTubers inherently, by erasing any kind of past, throw all of that out the window. Some do it for various reasons. Maybe they had drama in some other community and they don't want that to follow them. Fine. But at the same time, if you had drama in some other community, maybe you had supporters there as well, but you're throwing those supporters out the window simply because you don't want to acknowledge the drama happened. And so on and so forth. The escapism that is present here is very naturally toxic, I'll be honest.
It's a toxic positivity sometimes too, of just being so positive and just like ignoring like the bad stuff. You gotta acknowledge.
Here's the thing. There's always that one saying which is adversity breeds diversity, and that's the thing. You need some kind of struggle or something that you can talk about, something that's relatable, anything at all. You cannot just be anime on screen, happy-go-lucky. You look at all of the most famous people out there in streaming or in VTubing even, all of them have had something before. Or at least just some kind of story that they can tell. You bring up whatever name, then it's suddenly like, okay, this person's done this, this, and this before. They're known for that. Okay, there's your story. A good chunk of VTubers just don't have that. Like, I'll be real with you. Like, stories are what gather people. You see anyone in esports, for example. Let me take the classic example, Doublelift. That guy has a long bloody fucking story. It even includes murder, for fuck's sake. And he's a League of Legends player. Like, come on. Bruh. And then, I don't know, you jump anywhere to a random VTuber. You look at them for a bit. And you're like, so what's up? Why are people looking at you and not anyone else? So you dig a little deeper, you're like, okay, they've done this and that, and then the history stops. You become completely disinterested and you're like, okay, that's it. There's nothing else. So that's why my biggest hot take here is literally anyone who abandons any kind of past they had is throwing away any advantages they probably had before. All in the favor of a pipe dream that likely does not exist, is the thing.
Yeah.
Because you are then going to have to build up a history from zero all over again. It's one thing if you don't have that history at all. It's another if you're casting one out.
Mm-hmm. I used to play fighting games competitively a long time ago.
Oh shit.
I kind of cast that apart because I don't really want to stream that as much.
Oh.
I'm pretty okay at fighting games. I brought up like when I've won tournaments and stuff, but I don't really
damn.
like wear it on my sleeve for streaming because I did cast that behind because it's not something I want to do anymore. I can talk about it, like stories that I've done and stuff, but it's not like I can't really stream it now, especially now that I'm so washed up.
Fair enough. Wait,
yeah.
which FGC were you a part of? Like, which games? Which games?
No. Keep that to myself. No. Like I said, that's part of casting in the way. That's part of it.
Fair enough.
That's part of cast. I don't really. So it's like a thing I did. If I play a fighting game, if people were wondering, like, oh, you're actually decent at this, that's why. That's probably why I like PvP so much, actually. PSO2.
Okay. Because
I guess my.
Yeah, go on.
I guess my story kind of just starts from PSO2, I guess. I mean, I don't really have that much of a history. It's just I'm doing everything I can to, I don't know, I made some videos. I make some... I make some quick guides in PSO2, but what I really want to do is just make meme videos and just make people smile. My best video that I've done, Casual Brag, it was like what your PSO2 class says about you in NGS.
Man, fuck you for that one.
All it is me just making fun of people, and it's doing well. I'm like, oh, this is perfect. I would just make this kind of content, and I make some kind of bite-sized guides too. I'm not gonna get too into those because they're a guide. You can look it up anywhere. It's just a video format if you want to watch it, but you can't really like look up a guide for a meme, So I might as well just make that my niche and just make this kind of videos.
Because when you read out the fighter one, I was like,
it hurts. It hurts. It hurts.
Because by the end of my time playing NGS, I just swapped over to fighter, and I was like, oh, where's fighter been my whole life? I like the damage. I like the damage. I don't like floor tanking though. Oh god. Time to get good.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much what I left NGS on. Because then Braver came out. I was like, man.
Yeah, you might like the big numbers Braver do now. Maybe. I don't know. You might like it.
I don't know if I have enough time or disk space to re-download NGS, if I'm honest. So,
it's a big game.
It includes the goddamn base game unless you, like, remove it. But then you want the base game because, the base game has all the nice content and costumes and all that. But man. That's the gist of it. VTubers don't have stories. They erase a good chunk of them.
They have lore, but I'm gonna be honest. Sometimes lore is kind of cringe. Not gonna lie. It's like if you want to RP a character, I guess that's okay then. Like Nonpon, my characters, they got lore. Do I live and breathe this lore? No, not really. I'm just me at the end of the day. That's all I am.
Lore is just like one way of putting it is no one is going to care about your lore unless you're already streaming.
Exactly.
Because
I think one of the things I have unique about my stream, because it's like one of the biggest questions I had.
Okay.
That made me think about myself was like, what makes my stream unique?
Okay.
I gotta make it unique somehow. So I worked really, really hard. Like, I'm a VTuber, that's not unique. Yeah, stream Phantasy Star, well, kind of unique, whatever. Make meme videos, sure. But one thing I worked so hard on to make it happen, like I worked so hard to make this happen, was to make it so people can throw Pokeballs at my face and try to catch me. It's a 10% chance to catch me. There's even a 1% for a shiny, and you can transform me. You can transform me into a Wooloo, into like a toaster if you want to, into a whole bunch of different stuff. Complete, like if you just want the VTuber to be away, you can make him into a toaster. I think that's pretty cool. It's like people come on stream. I want to like take the first impressions that people have of me that just came to my stream and just saw me as a toaster, and then they're like, why is this guy? What is this person doing? They're just a toaster, and then just someone transforms me back to a regular VTuber, and I just see like this whole ass high definition VTuber behind a toaster. I don't know. I just think that's like so different. It's like, oh, would you really cast away this very pretty model just for your viewers to have a meme and a video game at the same time to like try to catch you in a Pokeball? Yes. Yes, I will.
Yeah, your toaster is the reactive image, so I'm just like,
yeah,
there it is.
Look, there it is. I'm a toaster. Yeah.
Nice toaster, nice toaster. Because I saw that once, I was like, God damn, this motherfucker is actually a piece of toast. Oh god.
Yeah, you transform me to a toaster, it's just my Discord reactive image, and then I go back to normal. Yeah,
God.
it's like, so like, that's my unique thing, is like, yes, I'm a VTuber. Am I going to whine and moan if, oh no, my toaster has been up here for too long and I feel like people aren't seeing my model? Well, maybe after 20 minutes or so. I don't know. But at the end of the day, it's like there's an incentive for trying to throw a Pokeball at it, because then there's a counter to see how many you've collected, and that turns me back to normal. So it's like, it's a soft solution, you know? Like, someone's going to want to catch it. There's literally a Pokedex for Nonpon. Like a literal Pokedex to try to catch the ones you want.
Wait. Oh god, wait, so there's an entry for the toaster?
Yeah, there's literally I think I have 6. I'm up to 6 right now. Yeah, one particular channel point, they all cost 200 by the way, transforms me into one of 3 different, we call them Pokemon, so one of 3 different ones. Okay. So it's funny because it's already RNG, because one might spawn that you don't want. It's like, I already have this one, but then someone else can come and take it and throw the Pokeball before you even have a chance because they need it. So you can like snipe them. So I worked so hard to make that happen. Like, I don't know what happened. I woke up. Sometimes you just wake up and just have that motivation. It's like, I gotta do it. I gotta do something. I'm gonna be the one VTuber that you can throw Pokeballs at, and that's my thing.
Fair enough. That's it. Me, if I was bothered enough to set things back up, I was going to put down basically my day job as a thing you could do. So there's one redeem here simply called a Bakuraku. That is literally me dealing my day job and shouting it out. So that would just be dealing a bunch of cards, flipping them over. The idea I had at that point was just, yes, if you win, just pick one of the bloody redeems. I will need to set that up at some point, but anyhow.
It's interesting that you work as a dealer, because I worked at the casino myself, and I was actually at one point a slot supervisor.
Oh shit.
And let me tell you, when you're trying to explain slot machines to very old people that don't understand why they lost, it's very, very annoying and very stressful.
Oh god.
And there was 2 types of supervisors, either the kind that would just brown nose, be like, oh yes ma'am, here's your bet back, and then there was me who just put my foot down and said, no, you lost. Because I wasn't gonna do that, because like my team member would come up and explain to him, this is why you lost. So do you think the team member would appreciate if their supervisor said, no, you're right, you lost, or a supervisor that comes up and says, oh well, okay, we'll give your bet back? Like no, I care.
Okay, of the funkier things I've had to handle Korean gangsters and Italian mafia, as far as I'm concerned.
What are they doing in Australia?
Good question. The Koreans, there's a travel bubble, so that makes sense. The Italians, I think they've been there from the very start, honestly. But for the Korean ones, let's see, I dealt two, maybe 3 hands to them. They won the first 2, then they staked everything on the third one. The third one was a tie result. I called the tie, I put away the cards, and immediately the guy stood up, slammed his fist down, and was like, oi, I won that one, why didn't you pay me out? I'm like, buddy, the machine over there literally says that it's a tie. The result up there says it's a tie. The cards in my hand, I spread them back out, says it's a bloody tie. The fuck are you expecting, mate? Oi, Soup, come over here. Supervisor comes over, like, yeah, whoa, what's going on? Yeah, this guy thinks he won. And the guy was like, oh, I'll get my mates. I'll get these guys over. They saw the result. They'll claim that I won as well. Supervisor just dials on the phone, calls surveillance. Nods. Uh-huh. Yep. Okay. Yep, dealer, put away the cards. Alright. Okay. Yeah, no, it was a tie result.
I love it. I love just seeing that face. It's a sick part of me. Just
He gets mad, he slams down the bet again. I deal the next hand, he loses. He lost everything that he came in with. So he's pretty damn mad. His mates are just grabbing onto him and just dragging him off to a different table. I'm like, thank you for playing, sir.
yeah, I know some dealers at my casino when I used to work over there. They would like gloat or like, you know, at their during their lunch, like, yeah, man, I kicked some ass tonight, and they just like a bunch of people just lost. Yeah.
Oh,
you know what's kind of funny? You're making
yeah.
money for a casino, and you're just watching people lose. I don't know. It feels because that's
Yeah. I don't know. For me, it's half and half. Kinda. It's more skewed that I think I've paid out close to 10 million bucks at this point. Something like that.
Wow.
Because every time I go on shift, I get at least one crowded table, and that table is down 40 to 80k or something like that.
I now understand why you are a VTuber and how you can afford one, because dealers make a lot of money.
No, we don't. We don't get tips.
You don't get tips in Australia? Are you kidding me?
Nope, not at all.
Wow, you're getting screwed right now. You know how many tips you get here for being a dealer? There are some people who like were making more money than like an executive. It's crazy the amount of tips they made every year.
I wish we got that much, because I've been offered tips a decent few times, but for licensing reasons and ethics, yeah, we can't, unfortunately.
Oh no.
So it's kind of just like, yeah, nah. Guy was like, oh, can I tip you? I'm like, mate, please put that down. I can't take that. I don't want to get fired.
I'm sorry. And then in another life, I probably became a dealer, but no, I was stupid and went to HR.
I mean, for me, I was either going to try and move into talent acquisition or investigations, one of the two. After a while, those two seem decently interesting, at least.
Yeah.
It's like we got one dealer coming through the door and staying, and 3 of them fucking leave. We are bleeding staff.
I do talent acquisition in my. Well, again, I'm the only person in my HR department, so I'm doing donations, talent acquisitions, everything.
Okay. I'm straight up just going to ask then, what is the weirdest resume you've received then?
Oh. You could tell it was this guy's first time making a resume.
Okay.
And people will do the funniest shit to make it seem like their job was bigger than what they were. Okay. So tell me if this is a true job or not. All right. I'm gonna tell you what I worked as for 2 years, and you gotta believe me, okay? All right. You gotta believe me. It's on my resume. You gotta believe me, okay?
Okay. Good.
I was a salad bar manager.
Okay.
No, you weren't. Oh, you gotta make sure the carrots are working properly. You gotta make sure there's enough dressing. No, you weren't. Fucking liar. And then they put under the salad bar manager, make sure food was prepared and always getting the done. That's what it said. Always getting the done. Salad bar manager. Like, oh.
Always getting just buddy.
Always getting the done.
I don't even know what to say to that. It's just like
I at least laughed at the resume for 15 minutes. And I'm like, okay, Yeah, I'll do an interview because we're so desperate anyway. But I'm not making you a supervisor because that's what they applied for. Like, we're so desperate. You made me laugh. Yeah, I'll interview him and maybe they could become something else. But you are not becoming a manager. Sorry, no salad bars over here.
Okay.
Always getting the done. That's gonna be on my gravestone. My final quote. Always getting the done.
Christ. Salad bar. Jesus.
Salad bar manager.
How do you... I've seen some special stuff out there sometimes, but... Hi. Because one thing I've had to do before is just handle production, and part of that is HR, talent acquisition, etc. When you... I will say, when you receive portfolios or a lack of portfolio from writers, you normally have to tell the writer, oh, yeah, can you write me a demo piece? Like 1,000 words or something. Sometimes the 1,000 words comes back as the most mythical mumbo-jumbo you've ever seen, and it's like... I don't know what you've been smoking, I want some of that too, but I can't take this.
Reminds me of me in my senior year of college trying to get a paper done and just jumbling stuff up with words to make it count.
You can tell when someone's pushing for the word limit and when someone's comfortably in the word limit, is the thing.
Yeah.
Especially when you've been a writer for a decent while and know what works and what really doesn't. So yeah, I've had to go through a lot of scripts before and be like, yeah, no, this thing is incomprehensible. Sorry, I can't take this. Or, no, your writing is English second, not even second. This is English third language. I am sorry, I need someone who is a native English speaker for this. Or at the very least, at fluency. This is not what you call fluency. I am so sorry. Yeah, writing is one of those things that is undervalued. Oh god.
Always getting the done.
Yeah. Always getting the done. Just
always getting the done.
Like, I don't even like what is it? Dresses up the salad. This is done.
It's done. Good job, me. I did it.
Cuts up some lettuce. Makes some coleslaw out of some cabbage and like carrots or whatever. Done.
Done. It's finished. Me, manager.
Oh my god. Wait, so,
resume.
Wait, so you said you actually took that interview. What was that interview like then?
You know what? I don't think it was very computer literate, but he's a pretty good worker, And when I mean a good worker, I mean he lasted 2.5 months, which is more than typical.
Huh.
I gotta think like that. If someone's here for at least 2 months, I'm like, oh, okay, they were worth it.
God damn.
That's just the life we're in right now.
If they're here for 2 months, it was worth it. Oh
it
god.
Was, though. It was.
I'm gonna say I think my company probably runs under the logic of if they were here for a week, it was worth it.
Yeah, it's nutty. It's nutty.
How does one put it out? Like, to get a casino license here, like individual castle, you need it's like $1,000 or so in terms of licensing payments and everything. And the casino,
yeah, I'm familiar with that.
The casino pays that out of pocket.
Mm-hmm.
So every dealer they hire costs them about $1,000 out the gate. Granted, in the 1 week they're on the floor, they are probably making the company much more than that, but...
Right.
Oh god, the sheer amount of headaches you deal with from new dealers. Please clean your float, please call your game, please do the bare essentials. Show clean hands. My fucking god, show clean hands.
Yeah, show your hands. You know, some of my friends who are a dealer. Do you ever do this? Do you ever do this by mistake? Like, you ever go to a gas station or give someone some money at the register and then you clear your hands off of habit? Do you ever do that being a dealer? Like, you just show your hands because you're so used to it?
So one person passed, like a friend when we were going drinking, passed me his debit card, and he wanted me to go like buy some drinks at the bar, pretty much. I showed clean hands before picking it up, looked at it, put it back on the table, passed it back out and showed clean hands again. And he was like, buddy, I wanted you to go to the bar. I'm like, oh, that's what this was. Okay, give me a moment here. Shows clean hands again, picks it back up, goes to the bar. And all one of the other fellas could say was, that was very dealer-like. I'm like, fuck.
It's a curse. It's a curse. You're so used to it.
Yeah, it was such a curse that when I recently took like a 2.5-week vacation, yeah, it felt very wrong not doing that for 2.5 weeks. Like, extremely wrong. I was like, I need to make this a habit again. Fuck, I need to make this a habit again. I need to show clean hands. Fuck, I need to show clean hands.
I'm just picturing like a marriage proposal when you're about to put their ring on their finger and then you just like clean it.
I think the one behind me would kick me for that if I did that, and then probably turn it down. But yeah, no, don't worry about it. Hi, my rigger is kind of just in bed behind me, but anyway. Yeah. I don't know, clean hands, it's something that everyone at the bloody casino does, to the point where no matter what your role is, at some point you've probably had to show clean hands. And it's a very simple motion. It's just elbows and hands perpendicular to the table, both facing upwards, or palms facing upwards. Put your right hand over your left hand, and then swipe outwards, turn your left hand downwards, keep your right hand downwards, then flip them back upwards. And that's it. Let's swipe up, and that's it. The thing that's kind of jank though is most dealers go very extra with their clean hands. I've seen people clicking, clapping, slapping things.
They're a magician.
They're trying
to pull a quarter out your ear.
Throwing their hands up as if they're being arrested. I've seen a lot. I used to be one of the ones which would click every time I did clean hands, so it'd just be like, and just so on and so forth. Just Christ. It was a funky time. Nowadays I just do whatever is according to standard operating procedure, and that's it. No one can get pissed at me anymore. Because after a while, you just realize, if you just follow the procedure to the letter, then they can't say anything. Like, that's just it.
Makes sense.
Man, do we have so many fucking operating procedures. My table was so dead at one point, I just opened up the document. I was like, we have 200 and something of these. It covers everything from wearing our casino license on our chest, showing clean hands, procedure violations, and even everything from dealing games to collecting bets. All the procedures in between, and I'm just like...
You must have been really bored.
Yeah. Very, very fucking bored. It was the deadest week I'd ever had. Or deadest day at a table I'd ever had. Because I swung down the entire row, and every time I swung to a new table, there would just be no one there. I'd just be reading something for an hour. It was to the point where I have a basic understanding of how to deal craps, blackjack, and poker without ever being officially trained in those.
They give you a raise for that?
Kinda. Like, eventually, if I get the official training in those games, I do get a raise for every game that I do learn. And it can become a pretty sizable amount by the time you learn, like, a majority of the games. The only thing is, right now, the only thing they're offering, I think, is a poker school. So I'm just like, is it time to learn poker? Is it time to bite that bullet and go into the wilderness? Because, man, poker is the only fucking game at the casino that's PvP.
Fun to watch people fight, isn't it? Don't you just want to go apeshit and watch them fight? Don't you just want to do it?
Poker dealers have a dedicated distress button under the table.
Don't you just want to be a zookeeper?
They have a distress button just right under the table, and it is part of the training apparently to locate the distress button and slap it in like 2 seconds. Just right there, because it is not uncommon for someone to start throwing punches over there. For one, it's Australia. For two, money is involved. And for three, it's poker. So yeah, thankfully they
I'm gonna start learning poker.
normally they don't throw punches at the dealers at least, but you know, when you get the sorts that you do at a casino, it can sometimes bring out the worst in people. And some of the funkiest stuff I've dealt with is the Italian mafia guys. They almost upended a fucking table once they lost.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
No way.
The table's made out of a couple of pieces. It's like, you know, the float, the layout, the table itself, and then the cushioning on the side of the table.
Mm-hmm.
For a split second, they tried to flip the table, and I saw the cushioning come clean off and slam back downwards.
Nice.
And I was like, at least I didn't hear anything snap, but Jesus fuck. Okay. That was quite something. That was quite something. Oh god. Oh god. Why? Just why? Yeah, they played a couple more rounds. They lost all of the rounds. I gave them the thank you.
That's usually how every casino story ends. It's like, yeah, they lost their money and then left.
Oh yeah,
Every time.
Because every time I deal with like diamond members and above, either they're the type which are sharks and they will win a shit ton of money, and I'll be like, hey Soup, the table's down about 80k. Supervisor comes over, why is it you again? I don't know, Soup, they just keep coming to this one. The opposite is, Soup, we're up 80k. They're like, and? You had to report that? Why? I'm like, Soup, we're plus 80k. Like, yeah, good. You did a good job. I'm like, I have no control over the game. Oh, no. That was all customer service. You kept them playing. I'm like, the guy played a total of 3 rounds in 5 minutes, bet about 30k each hand, and lost all 3 of them. I don't know what to fucking say to you, man. He played like 2/3 of the table limit every hand, and I'm like,
it's fine. It's fine.
It's fine. We won. You didn't lose. I'm
it's
like,
fine. W is W.
W is W. You don't have to report that. I'm like, okay. You know what? Sure. Anyhow, we are hitting up on the 2-hour mark, so I'll hit you with the usual wrapping up questions for these kinds of interviews.
Okay.
Alright. First one, let's see. This one might actually take a bit. Maybe, depending on how much you have to say on it. Recommend some food. Any food whatsoever.
Naan bread.
Eh?
Like Indian bread. It's like Indian curry with naan bread.
Yeah. No.
It's also part of my first name. Nonpon. Naan bread is really tasty. Garlic naan is the best.
Why?
Yeah.
Why naan bread specifically?
Because it tastes really good with curry and rice, and then you kind of like wrap it up like a tortilla almost, and you eat it all at once. It's very tasty. Naan bread is the best. The best food. And when you eat naan bread, you can think of Nonpon.
What the fuck? Fair enough. Alright. Recommend a drink then. Any drink whatsoever.
Any drink? I don't know what sodas you have in Australia, actually, so I don't know if I should even recommend a soda.
No, go for anything. We import a good chunk of stuff as well.
I'm gonna be honest, like any kind of actually, you know what? I'm a go back to my old reliable. I drink a lot of Monster energy drink actually, so I'm gonna recommend the Pink Pipeline Monster energy drink.
Okay.
Or the gasoline flavor one, which is just the normal Monster. Y'all like gasoline?
God. Okay, so I have like one story with Monster, kinda.
Okay.
And okay, so at the casino, very dead. Need energy, need caffeine. Goes to the vending machine. They're out of Red Bulls. They're out of these. They're out of anything else that's savory. There's only the cans of Monster down the bottom.
Oh, awesome.
Input $3 that it costs. Grab the Monster can. Open it up. Take a sip. Instant regret. I need to get back to the casino floor anyway. Take a bit more of a sip. Go to the locker room. Shove the Monster can into my locker.
You know what's crazy is I didn't mention this in my interview at all. But I haven't ate meat in like 11 years. So I went. Yeah. I'm a vegetarian.
Wow.
I went to my doctor like 2 weeks ago. And I told him about this. You know, like, hey, I haven't eaten meat in 11 years. Is that fine? They're like, oh yeah, your blood pressure's really good. It's probably due to the reason that you don't eat meat or whatever. I'm like, okay. I was worried about anything, and then she said, oh, just make sure you get enough vitamin B6 or B12. I'm like, okay, makes sense. I take some supplements for that. So come to believe, I look at my Monster can right here, and it's got a ton of vitamin B6 and B12. It's like, oh, that's what's keeping me together. Huh? Okay, understandable. It's like, you know, every 3 days or so. It's like, man, I'm definitely lacking in some vitamin B6, B12 right now. Time to down a Monster, I guess.
Anyway, the story of the Monster can is it lived in my locker. Because I just never wanted to touch it or finish it. I'm like, how do I dispose of an almost like 3/4 full can of Monster without it seeming really awkward?
Okay.
Yeah. So what they did recently is they demolished the entire locker room, and I'm pretty sure the Monster can with it. So goodbye, Monster can.
Oh no. You think like some flies got inside there and then like drank some Monster and it became super flies?
Who knows? At the very least, I know my locker was surprisingly not affected by the fact that that can was there the entire time. At all. I have no idea why. It just... nothing happened to it. Nothing happened to it.
If I close my eye, the problem's not there.
Like, there were... I'm not gonna lie, there were several times where I was like, okay, the vending machine is now just broken. I need my caffeine. Goes over to the coffee machine. Coffee machine's out of order. Oh, God. Okay, this is gonna be a rough day. Opens my locker, sees can of Monster. Do I? No, I fucking don't. No, I'm not gonna fucking touch that.
That thing's like really old. Oh my god.
Yeah, just like, no, I'm not going to fucking sip that. No, God, no. Okay. Moves on with life. Another day comes. A couple of weeks later, the machines are broken again. Goes to locker. Monster can. Why must you stare at me like this? Please. Please let me be free. Okay,
Here.
Okay, take a guess. How long that Monster can sat there before the lockers got demolished?
Two months.
Higher.
Excuse me? 6 months.
A bit higher.
How long can you keep an open Monster can inside your drink? Inside your locker? God, I can't even talk. I'm so flabbergasted by this.
Alright, it was 7 months. 7 months.
How did it feel, Echo? How did it feel when your locker smelled like gasoline? How did you like that?
Oh, the thing is, it didn't smell at
How
all
did it
or
feel?
anything. It was completely
What
neutral.
do you mean it didn't smell? Do you know how potent that shit is? What do you mean it didn't
I know
smell?
how potent it is, but I'm surprised it didn't fucking smell at all. Like, no matter what I stored in there, nothing took up any kind of odor or smell. And the monster can was 3/4 full, man. Like, fuck, I don't know what's wrong with the damn thing, but I don't know, man. I don't know.
Why was it so difficult to just put the monster can in the trash can? Why was it so hard?
Do you know how big
Why?
monster cans are?
I got 2 right next to me. I might have a problem, but I got 2 not right next to me.
Like, dude, those cans are bloody huge. Do you wanna throw like, I don't know, 400 milliliters of stuff down the drain or into a bin, and then just watch everyone else suffer the smell of gasoline for the rest of the day?
Okay, so it smells like gasoline in the trash can, but not in your locker?
It's still in its container, you know? The moment you throw it in a trash can, who knows what gravity's gonna do to that thing, man? That shit's gonna go everywhere.
Yeah, okay, you're right.
Hey, so I kept it there, and every now and then, whenever all options for caffeine were out the window, I was like, it would just sit there and taunt me.
Alright, so your Monster Energy drink in your locker was the equivalent of an air freshener in your car that you would forget about years to come. Got it.
Hey. The only thing that taunts me more than a monster can these days is a bloody air fryer. But anyway. Don't mind it.
You want to deep fry a monster?
No, God, no. What the fuck? Why would you? Oh, God. Thank you for the interview.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You know, I feel like, as siblings, we have a lot in common. And I mean, not much at all, actually.
Hey, alright. I'll see if there's anyone out there I can raid right now. Yeah, it's like dead in the lunchtime over here, actually. Yeah. Lunchtime and some Australians are up. Alright, you know what? I'll send it over to someone who's had to suffer my casino stories every now and then.
Okay. Feeling lucky, huh?
Yep. Yes, every now and then this guy gets a slight update on how much I've lost for the casino. I think I need a report that it's like 10 to 15k or 10 to 15 million at this point as of last week. Because yeah. As it turns out, yeah. Special kind of case when you get a table that's flooded by about 35 people for the better part of an hour.
I still can't believe you don't make tips off that. That's crazy.
Yeah, if I made tips, I'd be filthy bloody rich. I could upgrade about 3 tiers, 4 tiers maybe in terms of accommodation.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, yeah, no tips. Anyhow, once again, thanks for the interview. I will throw this on an ending screen.